Wisconsin Judge Hannah Dugan was indicted and charged with obstruction of justice and interfering with an arrest in the case of Eduardo Flores Ruiz, an illegal immigrant with a history of violence. She helped him slip out a private exit as ICE agents pursued him, though they still eventually caught up with him. But much of the media coverage turned the story into a negative attack on President Trump.
If a judge lets an illegal accused of abusing women escape out of the back door to ditch ICE, they're giving the whole country a permission slip to do whatever's necessary to stop Trump's agenda. This is pre-Civil War style resistance. We're getting into traitorous territory.
It's not like we didn't know it was going to be terrible, and it is terrible. He really did have a judge arrested today. Arresting a judge today. Are you kidding me?
It's to make an example to the dozens of judges that have ruled against this administration, up to and including the justices of the Supreme Court unanimously.
Joining us now from Clearwater, Florida, Jonathan Turley, a George Washington University law professor and Fox News contributor. So what evidence is there that Donald Trump was involved in this case or even knew about it?
No, it's perfectly otherworldly to see the media lionize this judge. This judge engaged in what does appear to be unlawful conduct. All the documents that have been filed in this case are largely unrebutted. You'll notice that most of her supporters don't challenge the fact that these agents actually tried to de-escalate. She told them to go talk to the chief judge. They went to the chief judge and he said, yeah, of course you can arrest him in the hallway. And during that time, she used her authority in her courtroom to help a person evade arrest. That's extraordinary. You know, I'm down here in Florida speaking to federal and state judges. Many of them, I'm sure, have disagreed with past administrations, but none of them crossed that line. None of them decided that gives me a license to become a lawbreaker.
Well, if you want to defend Judge Dugan, that's fine. But how do you just brush aside, as in my view many have done, the obstruction of justice charge and concealing a suspect to prevent an arrest? Much of the coverage just sort of goes past that and says, oh, this is Trump going after judges, as if he masterminded the whole thing.
Right, that small little detail that this judge stepped down from the bench and engaged in allegedly unlawful conduct. And once you do that, you're on a very slippery slope. And many of these people who are turning her into this heroine are ignoring the fact that they're the ones saying we have to defend the world of the rule of law. The rule of law is under attack. Well, what do you call it when a judge comes down and actively helps someone evade arrest in a courtroom? Now, you can have good faith reasons for saying that we shouldn't do arrests in courthouses. I get that. But as a judge, you have to confine your work to matters before you and the functions that you have, like court orders and holding hearings and having evidence. You don't become this evader of justice on the part of someone accused.
You know, the narrative is that Trump and his team are singling out judges they don't like for intimidation. Now, he's certainly done that in the past, and he's singled out law firms. There was just a ruling. One of the law firms, Perkins Coie, the judge said that what doing against them once represented Hillary Clinton is unconstitutional. He singled out media outlets he doesn't like. But in this case, there's no evidence of his involvement that I can tell. And this judge is charged, as you've been making clear, with a serious offense.
Yeah, I think this is why many of the Democrats and frankly, many in the media have lost their audience, that it is all a series of jump scares. You know, democracy will collapse within days and the rule of law is being shredded. But then they embrace someone who seems to personify the very problem that they're talking about. What Judge Dugan is accused of, if she did that, is fundamentally wrong. It deserves the condemnation of everyone in this nation. And I don't know many judges, and I speak to them all the time, who would support this. Many of them have told me in private that they're appalled by what happened in this case.
Right. Let me jump in here because I want to get to 60 Minutes. And here is what Scott Pelley said on the program about his parent company in the wake of the resignation of executive producer Bill Owens.
Our parent company, Paramount, is trying to complete a merger. The Trump administration must approve it. Paramount began to supervise our content in new ways. None of our stories has been blocked, but Bill felt he lost the independence that honest journalism requires.
So, Jonathan, what do you make of that? I don't have to tell you how rare that is. And I've said many times that the way that the Kamala Harris interview during the campaign was edited was, in my view, misleading and unethical. But as a lawsuit that Donald Trump has filed for $20 billion, would that have had any chance of success?
Well, first of all, this is extraordinarily rare. I used to work for CBS, it's really unheard of to have this type of confrontation in public. I agree with you. I oppose the lawsuit by President Trump. I believe it's legally unfounded, and I think that it will ultimately fail. But I agree with President Trump that what happened in this email was media bias. And it bothers me that CBS and much of the media are rallying around this interview, including they were just nominated for an Emmy for editing this interview. And the problem here is that if you look at the interview, President Trump has a point. This was a candidate who was not doing interviews, had a virtual human shield around her, preventing media from asking her questions. She was scripted at the point of repeating one-lines over and over again. This was the one big interview that they were willing to do before the election. Yeah. And she muffed it, right? She had a word salad in there on a very important issue. And while it played on the Sunday show, it did not play in prime time. That was news. It's news that she cannot get through an interview without having this verbal meltdown, and yet they cut it. They cleaned it up, and I think they have to come to grips with that.
Yeah, and look, the fact that CBS and Paramount need the approval of the Trump administration in order so Shari Redstone can sell the company for zillions of dollars, I think is an unavoidable conflict. But we'll see what happens with the mediation. Jonathan Turley, thank you for weighing in on these legal matters and media matters. Appreciate it.
Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You will not get it anywhere else.